I think the thing that's most important about it to me is 365 days a year I can have people on the property. My friends' kids, my nieces, my nephews, the dogs, people bring dogs every day. There's no hazmat suit here. So it's a safe environment, and that's one of the reasons why you see all these birds here. So prior to Barb and I finding the property, it had been left alone for 15 years. So we started with a blank canvas. We've been now operating it for 16 years, so it's documented 30 years without synthetic chemicals. That's why we have boatloads of birds and boatloads of bees. And so I think what really floats my boat, well, there's several things about biodynamics, but one of them that's important is it's a safe place for people to visit.
So with the biodynamics, why was it important to you to be Demeter certified, to actually go for the certification?
Because wine travels. And so when you're across, I have distribution all the way to the East Coast. So if you and I are sitting down in, let's say, Richmond, Virginia, and we tell the staff person we would like something that's biodynamic, it's nice to have it certified so that, okay, it's not biodynamic principles or whatever.
Right.
It's certified
It's
biodynamic.
actually certified.
Yeah. I think when you're local, like we are with the asparagus, people can visit me and they okay, yeah, he is. But when wine in particular goes across the country, and so I think the Demeter certification is important.
Excellent. Your inspiration for biodynamics, I know that you said it was Alan York is kind of the person who came in and helped you with consulting on this?
As the story goes that we got the property, Barb was helping farmers in the Cape Hay Valley, which is in California, and she was doing a lot of pro bono work for these farmers for business strategies and financials. And when we got the property, they said, you might want to research different farming methods. And so we were basically, Barb and I and our dogs were leading this homeopathic organic lifestyle. And so Barb stumbled upon biodynamics, which has got a very strong homeopathic bent. But really what brought us to biodynamics was the group. So she went to a biodynamic farmers meeting in Sonoma, and she called me up on the cell and she said, these are our friends. Same reverence for the earth, very common sense approach to farming, but a very inclusive group of people. It's not like I got a secret, you figure it out. So what happened once we got, we were here and we started realizing we were going to grow grapes. So Doug Tennell, who runs Brick House up in the Willamette, Doug said, come on up, I'll show you what I do and why. He's biodynamic. And then Mike Benzinger down in Sonoma, Mike said, come on down, I'll show you what I do and why. And that's really what brought us. It was philosophically aligned, but it's this really inclusive group of people. And so now here we are, 16 years later, and there's a local vineyard, Troon. Troon is going biodynamic. They're in the transition. And so we've been helping them just like folks helped us.
The winery. It's the part of biodynamics that usually I don't hear anything about. You hear a lot about the biodynamics in the vineyard and how you do that, but on your site you could talk a little bit about how you take the biodynamic practices into the winery. And I'm curious about that because I don't know much about that aspect of it.
Well, I think in terms of the wines, there are no chemicals in the wine. So not obviously, but in biodynamic farming, there's no synthetic chemicals in the fields. There's over 200 additions that wineries can put into our wines without disclosing. The only one that we can read about is sulfites. So at Cowhorn, as the winemaker, I can guarantee you there are no additives in there. So it's what's in my wine. I actually make my own sulfites. What I do is I take distilled water and pure SO2 gas, and I diffuse the SO2 gas through the water to a certain concentration. The reason for that is that most folks will use something called potassium metabisulfite. I don't really know exactly what's in it, but what I wanted was the purest wine that I could have. So what's in my wines are biodynamic grapes, Demeter certified, a little bit of distilled water, and a little bit of SO2 gas, and that's it.